Hey guys, it's Critty here. Thanks for clicking on my video. I just wanted to quickly go over how to become a pest control technician and how much they make. Maybe you've been scrolling through Indeed.com or Monster.com and you see some positions available to become a pest control technician, and you want to know how much money they make. Obviously, you want to see what you're getting into and if it's worth it. So in this video, I'll tell you what my experience has been becoming a pest control technician and how much money I've made, and you can see if it's enough money for you or if you think it's worth it. I know there's if you've searched online, you're probably getting mixed reviews. Some people say you make this, some people say you make that. Well, I've actually worked in the industry. I know how much money people get paid and what my coworkers make. So I'll just show you an online source of what the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average technician makes and how my experience contrasts with that. Okay, so I'm just here at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics on their website. A lot of people use this as a source, especially if you are in high school. I know they made us use this to research every career we were interested in when I was in high school. So if we scroll over here to pest control workers, how to become one. So here on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it says state laws require pest control workers to be licensed. This is just not true. You do not need to be licensed to work in pest control. If a pest control company hires you, maybe the manager or somebody will have a license, and you just work under their license, but it does not require you to possess a license of your own. You'll just take a class. I think it's like a 4-hour class. They'll tell you what not to spray. Don't spray people's gardens, things like that. Some pretty basic, easy stuff. You don't even need to take a test to show that you learned anything in the class. You just have to sit there for a few hours while they teach you a class, and then that's it. And then then you are free to start your job. As far as education goes, this is just saying a high school diploma. Really, pest control companies don't care what you have if you even have a high school diploma. If you're a pretty average guy and you can speak politely and you can work with customers, they don't care if you have a diploma or a degree or whatever. They just want you to make them some money. So even if you're a college dropout or a high school dropout, even if you have felonies, I've worked with guys who've been in and out of jail, but are pretty decent guys to talk with. So you stand a pretty good chance of getting a job here. Let's see. So technicians also must complete general training, use and safety. They're usually trained within 3 months. 3 months. I'll just tell you my experience. 3 months is a little ridiculous. Maybe like a very rare high class pest control company. Me, I was trained. I went from zero pest control experience to being a pest control worker with a truck, driving my route, dealing with my customers. I went from zero to worker in 3 days. I was trained in 3 days. Okay, it's really easy. You're just spraying foundations. If you have any issues, you just call whoever's your manager is, and they'll walk you through what you need to do to take care of a customer's pest service. But 3 months is absolutely ridiculous. You'll be trained much quicker than that. So yeah, I already went over. You don't even need a license. There is an option to get some certifications. If you take certifications, if your employer is okay with paying you to get certified, it just looks good, and they might give you a small raise. But other than that, they probably don't really care. So let's scroll up to pay. So there's different kind of levels to pest control workers and how much they make. Basically, there's there's companies, like smaller companies that just started, like sort of startup pest control companies, and they're going to pay you much less, but they're going to pay you less money, but it's a lot easier to get a job with them. They're just looking for anybody who's going to run that summer out. Kids straight out of high school, people with no job experience, people who've been in jail. They don't care. They just need someone to work for them. They're not very picky at all. But then there's, the upper tier pest control companies that are going to pay you more, especially, starting out around this number. While the lower paying pest control companies might pay you like this much, 24,000, not very much. The better companies will start you out at around this number. And even though the lower companies will pay you, less dollars per hour, they will work you 70 hours a week. So, they'll work you Monday through Saturday, 12 hours a day. While you're going to be working a lot, but you're still going to get this figure. This number, you're probably not going to see 24,000 unless you're working in a really rural area with not that many customers. But if you're living outside of a big city or just any moderately sized city, you're going to make 37,000 around there, whether you work, 6 days a week or 5 days a week. So in my experience, I worked at a kind of a startup company. I got in really easily. I was young, had no experience, and my starting salary was $11.50. And yeah, I worked for $11.50, but I worked 70 hours a week, just like I said, and I got a lot of overtime, and I still managed to hit, $37,000, $40,000 in my first year. And like I said, really easy to get your foot in the door if you can live comfortably off $40,000. I live in, North Carolina. That's a living wage here. I did just fine for myself. And if you're just looking for something to pay the bills and, you're able to work a lot of hours, then this could be the job for you. But I only worked there for a year, and, I was tired of working the long hours. I just put my year in, proved that I had experience, and then I applied at a better company that paid twice as much money and, only worked 5 days a week, and it was more of like an 8-hour, 40-hour a week sort of career. So now, or what I started making when I started out, the newer company, they don't pay by the hour. They pay you a draw. So you get a draw of $140 a day, and then you get commissions if you work any more than that. So basically you get 20% commission on each service you provide. So we were doing $75 services. If I get 20% of the service fee, I get to keep $15 for myself. So if I did 10 stops that day, I would make $150 for the company. So I would get my draw of $140, but then I get $10 more in commission because I worked 150. I did 10 stops for $150, so I'd get $10 bonus in commission. And you're working, how many stops you do in a day? For the first company, I was doing about 20 stops a day. The newer, more laid-back, higher-paying pest control company, I was doing 15 stops a day. So I was doing, 20% less work or 25% less work for as much money, which is a pretty good deal. So think about that. And that's just basically, going in and out of houses, spraying the foundation, pretty easy stuff. Recently, after I put about 2 years in on the higher paying company, I got promoted to, a different sort of technician called a bed bug technician. I'm, going in houses, doing longer jobs for bed bugs and even cockroaches. And that pays more around the $60,000 to $70,000 mark. So you're doing these, again, I get paid 20% commissions. These bed bug jobs can sell for $2,000, and I'm there for about, 4 hours on a good bed bug job. And if I'm doing it for $2,000, I keep 20%, which is $400. So I'll make $400 in 4 hours, and then I might do some other things for the company after that. But with all that said and done, I'm making around $60,000 to $70,000 a year. So if you do, if that's more of a number you are wanting to reach for, there is a little bit of growth in this career, and you can be making $60,000 to $70,000 if you work hard enough. In just only 2 or 3 years, you can reach that number if you're ambitious and work hard and show up to work and make happy customers. So that's all for today, guys. I know this video ran a little bit long. I just get to talking a lot, but basically, I just wanted you to know that if you're getting into pest control, if you go for a newer company, pretty easy to get in. You're going to get lower pay, but you're going to get a lot of hours. So expect to work really hard, but still make around $40,000 a year. And after you put a year in, you probably don't stay with that company. That's a lot of hours to be working. Switch to a better company that's looking for experienced technicians that is willing to pay for them. So I would apply for a higher tier company that's gonna start you at like $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and you're only working 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, just 5 days a week. So you still have your weekends. You're getting home in time for dinner. It's a better work-life balance. Expect that, and know that there is growth in this career to make in the $60,000 to $70,000 range if you're willing to take on more work and do those bigger jobs. You can make between $60,000 and $70,000 if you're willing to kill bed bugs for your company. It's a little rough. It's harder work. You run the risk of getting some bed bugs crawling on you and stuff. But if you're not scared of that sort of thing, you can make some more money. And there is other avenues to pest control, like sales, where your income's pretty much unlimited. For the first company I worked for, we had door-to-door salesmen, and they would be making like $60,000 in a summer, just going door-to-door selling pest service, selling contracts to those, and then I would come behind them and do the pest control service. So if sales is more your thing, you don't like getting in crawl spaces and doing the dirty work, you can make a lot of money in sales as well. And then as far as after the bed bug, the $60,000 to $70,000 range, killing bed bugs, but after you put in like 5+ years, then you can qualify to be more into management, and you can manage a team, and you can make even more money. So pretty easy job to get into, really not that bad, depending on who you work for. If you work for a good company, it can be a pretty enjoyable job. And that's me. I've worked in the industry for about 3 years. I do pretty well for myself. So if you have any questions, please just drop them in the comments. I will get back to you. And if you learned anything or enjoyed this video, if you could just hit the like button for me, that would be great. So thanks, and wish you all the best.